Oh,
Hey,
it's been so long.
I know. How are you? So good to see you.
You too. It's been great. Never better. And weirdly, ironically, in this crazy time, it's never been. I've never. This is like I'm having. I don't know why, but I'm having this like creative explosion right now. It's been amazing.
We have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do we begin? I think, well, obviously, so glad that Travis has returned. It's been far too long.
Yeah.
A Ghost sounds great. We look forward to the new album with that incredibly creative title, 10 songs, coming out in October. But Fran, I was, and did you notice the
Yes, I love it.
backdrop?
Yes,
So I
fabulous.
pulled, my poster for the Invisible Band off the wall yesterday,
Mhm.
and I discovered something I want to share with you.
Yeah.
Taped to the back of this, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh wow, the
It's a
set list.
it's a set list from the 930 Club.
What?
Yeah, and I think
Wow.
that might have been the last time we saw each other. But
That would have been in
remember that night.
2008.
But
No, the set's 2008 because it's got a song at the end called Holiday, which went on my solo record. So it would have been the tour that we did with Nigel. In fact, in fact, Nigel was with us at the 930 Club. There's a video of that exact show actually. It's the same one that Nigel that
I'll have to
Nigel
look
did
for that.
back with us.
There was a night at the 930 Club also where you did a huge favor for me by playing Out in Space, sort of an impromptu
Yeah.
performance of a song you guys don't do very often.
No, and we never. I think that's the only time we've ever played it live.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I don't think I ever had a chance to thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But let's catch up a little bit
Yeah.
on say the last 5 years or so. So first of all, when did you move to LA? Last time I spoke with you, I think you were living in Berlin.
We were in Berlin for 9 years, and then we moved to LA 3 years ago. We we had we had a an apartment in New York, and we were like, right, let's just like move. Let's do something. Let's just get a swap some bricks and mortar around. So we swapped our apartment there for a house in LA, but we were never going to. It was never a plan to move to LA. I mean, who would fucking move to LA? Sorry for swearing, but no, I'm just joking. Lots of people moved to LA, and us being one of them. Um, we, but we weren't planning on it because we were living in Berlin, and Berlin's cool, and I had my brilliant studio in Hansa Tone Studio, which is just amazing. And then we came here, and just to hang out for a holiday to this house, this new house, and then we someone said, "Oh, you should go and see a school." So we went to see a school, uh, just out of curiosity, and we thought, "Oh my God, the schools here are great," and so we just moved.
And so, how are things in California? I know here in Maryland, we are one of the fortunate few, and that with COVID, it seems to be somewhat under control. I know in California yesterday, there were new restrictions reimposed.
I find it it's an interesting um, time to be living in. I mean, we're living in history right now. This is a time that when I was a kid, I'd hear my granddad talking about Second World War, and it was a moment. He was living through history, and now we are in a and what crazy history to be living through. So in California, I have no idea why it's exploding again. Uh, no one does. It's just I don't think anyone really has a handle on what this is and what it's doing and what the ramifications are of it. what the long-term economic is going to be. I think it's going to be diabolical for America. It's been handled in the most unbelievably just all over the place kind of way. And it's shown up, at a time in our, I think, in our history, it's really shown up the cracks that were already there, like in Britain, like everywhere. I think we're in a, I think really right now, in the past 5 years, I'm beginning to think, we're living really, and we should be living in a post-leader society. Well, what is wrong with us that we're like, we need a leader, take me to your leader, you know? And then look at who they choose as the leader. These people who are popular, but they're not necessarily sensible to take care of business. And when I say business, I mean not business, but I mean like run a country. And I think we're past it. I think they're all money for old rope, all these leaders. And I think COVID has shown us how bad, how totally incompetent they all are. But you're lucky. California's totally getting hit by the left, right, and center. But it's the nature of this virus, and who knows where it's going to go. All I know is that you just need to wear a mask and keep your distance and do all that kind of stuff.
Wear a mask. Wear a
Yeah,
mask, indeed.
a lot of people are like, no, I'm not wearing a mask, because it's been politicized. Like a mask is like a badge now. It's like if you wear a mask, you're saying I'm a liberal. I mean, how stupid is that to politicize public health and safety? It's so wrong.
It
It's
truly is. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get off this. We could talk about this all.
Okay, so if you look for silver linings, and I
Yeah.
read that over the last several years, the songwriting process never really stopped for you, and you had enough material for 2 or 3 albums. You've distilled it down to these 10 songs,
Mm-hmm.
and I presume that these songs were written before COVID really took off.
Yeah.
But once the pandemic took hold, it was time to think about a video for a ghost. And you spent an extraordinary amount of time illustrating, Fran, 17 hours a day, something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah. 17 hours a day, no joke. Like I did. So we had to make a video. Nobody could film this video. I had already thought the idea, and I was just about to start pulling a crew together when it all kicked off. And we need a video. We've got a great album. We've got a great song. This is the first single. And if we don't make a great video to go with this first single, it's not a good start. So I had absolutely no choice but to draw it. I'm a good drawer. I went to art school. That's my first sort of passion was drawing, and I still draw a lot. But I was a little bit out of practice, and but I thought, screw it, I'm going to go for it. I did a calculation at the frames per second and how many seconds are in the song, and calculated that I'd need to work 15 to 17 hours a day for 30 days. And I had exactly that amount of time, 30 days. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I sat, and it was amazing. Like my inner Rain Man came out. Every time Clay came into the bedroom, I was like, drawing. Like,
Let's talk about your videographer.
Yeah.
The young man who actually filmed the video is your son Clay, is he 14 now?
He just turned 14, and he's a really, really lovely, cool human. He's very good at he's good with his hands. He's not really into music. He doesn't really like music. I think It's probably because I'm his dad.
Does he take direction well? And here's where I'm going with this, because
Yeah.
now this is another part of your resume, if you will.
Mhm.
Uh, I guess it was about 2 years ago. There was a film called Almost Fashionable,
Yes.
and it was the Travis story.
Yeah.
And um, Travis, with this rich history of always having a great sense of humor, your concept was to approach a music critic who is not necessarily a fan of the band.
Yeah. I didn't like the band.
What happened there, friend? What was the thinking? We're gonna have somebody narrate or host this
Oh,
documentary,
yeah.
and he doesn't really like us.
Yeah. Have I thought? Well, you can. I just looked at all of the band movies that are out there, and they follow a pretty tropey sort of um, they're built on a sort of similar structures. All music like films about bands, and it's like it's almost like a template. And I didn't want to make a I didn't want to make a like why do that? Why not do something kind of more interesting? And so we I'd met this journalist, and I thought he's he doesn't like us, but I know that if he were to spend time with us, because he represents, there's a lot of journalists who have kind of followed a certain what's the word, received wisdom that we're a certain thing that we're completely not. Like they've got us down as, I don't know what they've got us down as, but the band that they talk about are not the band that we are. And this guy represented that he was like the perfect example of one of these journalists who just picked up the, oh yeah, Travis, bleh. And I thought, well, why not bring him and show him like what we are, and show them, get someone like that really close and see how what he thinks, see how his ideas change, or if he holds on to them. And of course he didn't. You know, we brought him on the tour, and in the end it was the film, in a funny way, is a film about us, but it's also about journalists and what they lose when they make their job out of the thing that they once loved. They lose the passion, you know, they lose the real joy of music, which they had when they were 12 years old. And they were just like, oh, like we are about music. Journalists have to sit every day. I mean, I learned a lot about journalists. They like, if you're a critic, you're getting like about 800 CDs a year to review. How on earth first of all, you're going to be really, you're going to be, and that's annoying. You're not getting paid enough anyway. And then, Travis come along all like, la, la, la. We're all kind of like, like, I'm going to kick the living daylights out of this lot. Um, but yeah, he came around and he realized not about us, but more about himself, that that he had lost this vital passion that he once possessed, and we helped restore it in this tour. And it's a really really good film, and I mean it took ages to cut it all together, but it was worth it, and it nails the band as well. It definitely shows us, kind of what we are.
I want to speak for Travis fans in the United States, because I myself had some difficulty finding a good platform to watch this documentary. I still have not seen it. I've watched the trailer, but where is the easiest
We're
place?
yeah, we're dealing with that just now. This is the other thing about making films. You have to find a place for them to go,
Hmm.
and we found like an agent type of person that sells your film, and then once you give it to them, you say like, oh, we're going to sign you for 2 years to find a home for this. And she never found a home for it. She wasn't actually. I didn't think she was that good at doing what she should have been doing. Um, I was I think the only place that she got the the video was shown was in Sky in the UK, Sky Arts. But we're getting it back. I've
Okay.
managed to just kind of get that back offer, and we're going to get it out there by hook or by crook.
Okay. We'll stay tuned for further details on that. Fran, what is it going to be like to release an album and not be able to tour behind it for a little while? If we were not in the situation with COVID that we are right now, and it's been quite a while since Travis has been in the States,
yeah.
Would that have been a part of the rollout for 10 songs? Is the band hitting the road?
Oh yeah, we had to cancel like every band. And I don't even want to complain about it because it's we're musicians and we adapt and we figure something out. People have lost their jobs though. People are literally can't pay the rent. So I've got nothing to moan about. But yeah, we would be on tour. We cancelled all our shows until next July, and yeah, it's weird to not have gigs. But you know what, Bob? I'm enjoying it. I needed a break. I got to be honest. Like at the end of the Man Who shows, we took the Man Who and we did those shows. I was I was like I was almost done. I was like, I don't like playing anymore. I'm not enjoying. I mean, I never really did enjoy it. I've got to be honest. It's not really
Really?
something I enjoy is to go up and I don't need that validation. Being in a band for me was my ticket out of, can I swear? No, I can't swear, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it was being in a band. I was a poor kid from Glasgow. I went to art school. I was lucky enough to get into art school. That didn't work out. I got in my band, and my band was the ticket. The only ticket I had as a poor working class kid from Glasgow to get out of the shithole and to make a life for myself. So I took it and I ran with it, and it was a financial and creative. I love being in a band, blah blah blah. But you blow you sort of. I so didn't want to be poor. I mean, it's the worst. Being poor is is like it's like an illness that you can't get cured of. It's so shit being poor, and so many people are poor. And if you know what it feels like to be poor, then it's I'm I you know you look someone in the eye. I meet people all the time, and you just know. And I know people who haven't, who don't know that feeling. Anyway, that's another whole thing. But being in a band was so it was I had to do it. It wasn't like my number one passion in the whole wide world. My number one passion in the whole wide world, believe it or not, is making films and drawing and painting and visual. Like doing this video for this Travis thing was like I fulfilled some kind of like I was like, oh my god, this is like the amount of satisfaction I got out of it compared with writing a song. It's weird. Like I'm not knocking this. I'm good at writing songs. I just don't. I don't. I was talking to someone today about it. Songwriting for me is not creative. Songwriting for me is something other than creative. It's above creative. It's below. It's not better or worse. It's another task. It's like going out and sitting with a fishing rod in a big lake without any bait and just waiting and waiting and waiting and then pulling up something and it's rubbish. It's just an old boot. You throw it back in and you got to. So there's no creativity involved. It's just pure patience and just pure determination to write songs. Then you get creative in the studio and you make videos and artwork, and that's all creative. There are loads of songwriters who would say it is creative, but they don't write songs the way I write songs. I write songs with a blindfold on, with plugs in my ears, and I let stuff bubble up from underneath. It takes 4 years to write 10 songs. There's a creative way of doing it, and that involves 10 guys writing one song, and then I've got like one guy writing 10 songs. It's a different thing. I personally feel that the songs that I come up with are will last longer because they come from a different, they're not coming from here, they're coming from like the gut or something. But going back to the thing I was saying about touring, and I was like, it's weird. I kind of, I was like, I don't know how long I can do this for. So in a funny way, I'm really, I'm unhappy that we can't tour, but I'm also quite relieved that I can release a record and not tour. It's, I mean, the Beatles, they were like, I'm done, we can't do it. It's like, so I'm getting to have a little dream come true. I'm sure I'll be skint, but
Well, you know, having been together for over 20 years and scaled the heights that Travis has worldwide and playing all of those amazing shows,
we're so lucky.
legendary shows, Glastonbury, Isle of Wight,
Yeah.
huge. You know, I can understand the burnout, I guess, but I think I also read somewhere recently that your son Clay said something to you about, Dad, you know, you should really get after it again with the band.
Yeah, he did, and that's in a way, it was my permission to pursue it again. I mean, I feel like there's a funny feeling you get, that I get anyway, that I had when we were in Glasgow 20, 20 22 years ago. I like this real like, I'm gonna just knock this out of the park feeling in your, and you get it in your tummy. It's like a nobody can stop you feeling, and that feeling continued until I hit about 31. And actually, when I became a dad, I was like, the spotlight moved. I still had that feeling, but I had it about my son, and then I just, that attention, my laser just went onto him, and for 14 years, which is great. And I did obviously did the band as well, but not full on. And he came in and he said, "Papa, I think I'd like you to, really do it, go for it." And I was like, "Really? I mean, I'll be away a lot." And he's like, "Go for it, Papa. I want you to, And I think for him, he wants to see his dad doing this like on his full potential, like. And he has, and he's like, I'm making him work for his his room and board now.
That's that's good. It's never too early for that, because
Yeah,
eventually these kids, they never leave after a while. We've taken a lot of your time, but it is really so great to see you, and we've missed you, and so glad that Travis is back, and looking forward to hearing the rest of the record as soon as possible. Maybe you can shoot me a copy early.
And
Nudge,
listen,
nudge.
I would love to, like, oh yeah, definitely, and I would love to like maybe do, I don't know, like some session or something, like sing some of the new songs or something.
That would be great. We would love that.
I've got like my piano, I've got like microphones, and I can just
yeah.
But I mean, I'd much rather come in and do it.
We'll take you up on that, though. In the meantime, that would be terrific. Before I let you go, I do have to ask you something. Do you have one of those Alexas in your home? Those smart speakers?
Nothing like that. I don't like those things.
Are you familiar with Alexa? Those?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so you because when this product first came out,
yeah,
and I unwrapped it out of the box, and you may remember my daughter Sophie, that you saw at Hudson Street Sound when you guys came in and did a session with us. Anyway, Sophie and I unwrapped this thing, we plugged it in, and the first question we asked it was, "Alexa, why does it always rain on me?"
Oh, what did it say?
And to my great surprise, she said, Maybe it was because you lied when you were 17. And I
No.
was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're ever around one of those devices, Fran, I just,
Wow, that's good. We've made it.
somebody programmed that in. There is a Travis fan, a big Travis fan who
Yeah.
must work for Amazon.
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my God. That's
Nobody's ever told you that before.
no, I never knew that. And I wonder if Siri has it. I wonder if I can do it just now. Hold on. Hey Siri. No. Oh, it's on my other one. Hey Siri. Why does it always rain on me? That's not. It doesn't even
Amazon,
answer me.
the Amazon Echo, it's called. I bet our mutual friend Jacqueline Saturn could, maybe she probably has one.
Yeah, I'm a bit parrot about that, about like microphones being. It's like Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
um, closed circuit television a little bit, but then you can't. This is it. We've already all drank the Kool-Aid. We're
Yeah.
already in it up to our necks. It's listening like it's listening to us. Everything, and I think I mean, it's all fine. I'm not like one of these like conspiracy. Oh my God, because unless you're like a felon, then I mean, really. But who knows? I'm sure there's some dystopian future ahead of us where I don't know, cars get your car driving down the street suddenly gets overtaken.
Yeah. Fran Healy of Travis, great to see you again. And we'll be in touch, and perhaps maybe we can put together some sort of a virtual thing. I saw you did the Happy Place Festival, which I thought was a fantastic website.
Yeah, yeah, really cool. And
You sang a couple of songs on a rooftop in LA.
yeah, downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Okay. All the best to you, Fran.
Cool, man. Nice one, Bob. I really, it's nice to see. It really, really is. And it's great to be back. And I'll see you very, very soon.
Okay. Take care, my friend.
Nice one, man. Bye.